Greetings my lovelies, and thank you for stopping by the circle today. This week's video is kind of covering two topics, but I decided to do them together because writer's block and just general burnout are probably the two main reasons why people stop writing or struggle with writing. So I figured, why not kill two birds with one stone and talk about them together. So let's go. Alright, so first and foremost we're going to talk about writer's block. Writer's block is basically when your imaginary friends stop talking to you. You can't carry on conversations with them, they don't speak to you, the words come out in incorrect form, or they just fucking suck. And you just get more and more frustrated, and the more and more frustrated that you get, the worse your writing get, and you're just like, Wah! Can't take it! And you just walk away defeated. I can't do this anymore! You know, that whole drama spiel that we're all guilty of. So here are just sort of 5 very simple tools, tricks, whatever that you can do to help kind of alleviate that shit. Number 5, minimize your distractions. We're already kind of cagey people to begin with. Like, we have a hard time focusing because, ooh, plot bunnies, or, ooh, this would be a cool idea, or, that just might completely rip out my readers' hearts and make them cry. Let's do it. So we already have a hard time focusing on like one topic. So minimizing your distractions can sort of help you stay in the zone. That means staying off of Twitter, Instagram, TikTok, YouTube, all that fun jazz. I mean, I'm guilty of it too. And I'm all for taking breaks, but you know, you might want to limit yourself to that. You know, like, hey, okay, I've finished a page, so why don't I just take like 10-15 minutes and go fuck around YouTube for a little bit? You know, that type of thing. Your free time's over, you go back, you satisfied that social media itch, and you just kind of keep rolling. And that leads us directly into thing number 4, routine. Routine as a writer is your best friend. I mean, like, seriously. Because it's a lot easier to sort of organize your life into a semblance of like some type of control when you actually know what you have to do and blocks of time to do it in. It also helps you to feel like you're not constantly like overwhelmed when you can break your day down. Like, okay, I'm getting up at this time, and then I go to the gym, and then I have my breakfast, and I don't want to start reading or working until about 10 o'clock. Well, hey, I'm pretty much done with everything from 9 until 10. I have this lovely time to where I can just BS for a little bit and just kind of get my day rolling. Oh, I'm working for a couple hours. I need to make sure I need to get up and move my ass around. My darling puppies are sitting over here screaming at my feet because they want to go for a walk. But if I don't schedule and control my time, I can't do that. Isn't that right, Frankie? You're right. Scheduling gives you a semblance of control over your life. And when you don't have that, you're more likely to feel overwhelmed. Like, how in the hell am I supposed to fit all this stuff in my day? I can't get anything done. And just having a loose plan is better than no plan at all. Number 3, change up your workspace. Now, some people prefer to work in total silence. I don't know how, but they do. I am not one of those people. I like to have noise in the background when I constantly work. It helps me to focus. Sometimes that's Netflix, to where I'm like having Supernatural play in the background because I can pay attention to that and not pay attention to it at the same time because I've watched it so many times. Or it's usually in the form of music, whether it's a Spotify playlist or a Pandora radio station, whatever. But sometimes it's just not vibing right. Like, you may be trying to revise something, but if you're listening to the modern radio where you got lyrics, those lyrics could be pulling you out of what you're supposed to be doing with your writing, so maybe you need to switch to instrumental. Or if you're struggling just listening to instrumental, pop on your motherfucking jam. Like, play your song that gets you going and gets you like, hey, yo, yeah. I'm sorry, I'm embarrassing myself here. And just sort of change up the energy. There's nothing that says you have to stick to one particular thing while you're working. If whatever you got going for you isn't really working, switch it up a bit. Hell, if you normally work in an office like I do and you just can't focus, and you have the luxury to go sit outside on your front porch or your patio or on top of your car to work for a little bit, hey, go do that. And at the time when we could go out, because of, we weren't on lockdown, you could go to the coffee shop and work for like an hour or two. Like, who cares if it fits the trip? Sometimes you just gotta change your headspace. Number 2, free writing. I love free writing. I mostly leave that though for the world of like fan fiction, to where I don't have to think about characters type of things, and I can just have a story and just go with it, and a lot of it never really ever sees the light of day, but it's just writing whatever is in your head without any type of pressure as to what you're trying to do. And I highly recommend, if you free write, to not free write about the thing that you're stuck on, because then if you weren't stuck, then you wouldn't necessarily need to free write. So yeah, you could, rewrite the ending to The Rise of Skywalker again, or whatever. And number 1, get away from your computer and go make some tea. And I'm saying tea because that's less stimulating than coffee or alcohol. And you just may want to create a little moment. So go make yourself a cup of tea, go kiss your pet or your significant other, stand out, enjoy the sunrise, imagining you as the badass writer that you are. And when you come back to your computer, your writer's block should be at least somewhat better. So before I segue on into the burnout, what are some of your tools that you use to keep yourself from being stuck while writing? Comment down below so you might be able to help somebody else. Alright, so now it's time to talk about burnout. And burnout is something that, I feel in my little hearts of hearts, it kills me, because not only do I get burnout from being a writer, I get a burnout from being a teacher, so it's like a double whammy. And trust me, like, I know how to cope with this, so let's roll. Now, burnout is different from writer's block because burnout affects you more than just what you're working on. It's the thing that just makes you feel dead inside and tired, and it's almost like being depressed. Like, it really does feel like that. Like the things that used to give you joy and that you used to be able to push through, you're just like in tears because you just can't anymore. I have no idea of how many people have given up on writing because they just kept pushing and pushing and pushing and burnt themselves out and then never picked it up again. So let's try to nip this one in the bud. Number 5, go for a walk. Like and this is probably my number 1 advice for whenever you feel shitty. Like when I feel terrible and I can feel my anxiety and my depression and just all that stuff just starting to build, I'm like, I'm gonna go sit in trees and be like a hippie for a hot second. So I'll go for a walk out in the park, I'll go for a walk along the trails. I'll even just sometimes, if I can't do anything else, I'll just go walk barefoot in my own backyard because it's being overtaken by moss, and that is like, oh, that's so lovely because it's like a lush carpet. And it's actually scientifically proven that being in nature can help reduce anxiety and stress levels, which are a contributing factor to feeling burnt out. So as a whole, as a life tip, when you feel like crap, go be one with nature. You will feel at least marginally better by the end of it. Number 4, go hang out with some friends. Like literally just go fuck it and just go blow some steam off with your squad, group, boys, girls, whoever you have, and just be there and not at what you're not doing at the moment. And just have some fun and release some of that mess. Now you might be hungover in the morning if you are of those of legal age to drink, but that is just a price that we have to pay. Number 3, read something. Stop worrying about writing and pick authors that inspire you. The ones that make you want to write, or books that you know that you can go to when you just hate your life, and by the time that you're done reading it, you feel better. For my neighbor, it's Eat, Pray, Love. Like, that's her go-to book for when she feels crappy. It helps her. For me, I have a rotation between Harry Potter, Percy Jackson, and Sarah J. Maas novels. Like, I just go through those rotations, read the entire series, or at least half of it, and then I'm like, yeah, I feel good about myself. I want to be like these people. Let's get going. And I'm just recharged. Number 2, if you are of legal age, pour yourself an adult beverage. If you're not, go get whatever tickles your fancy, whether it's something sweet or hella caffeinated. Just go get something that is like your fuck it all drink and have that. And let that just be the thing that calms your tormented soul and gets you away from the computer desk. Like, we're noticing a theme here, right? It's basically like, just get up and go do something that's for you. And number 1, the big thing, take a long-term scheduled break. Now, what I mean by scheduled break is when you realize that you are just burnt out in dealing with your novel or just writing or planning or anything that you're doing, just put it down for a couple days. Go, I'm gonna take 3 days, a week max. Don't think about it. Don't go back to it. And just do whatever for a week. Step fully away from your project and be like, look, I love you, babe, but we just ain't working out right now. We're gonna have to take some space. And take that space. These are things that I do all the time as a teacher that I have incorporated into like my writing life. And oh my God, let me tell you, it has helped a ton. Burnout can destroy your passions. Don't let it. So if you are on the brink of feeling burnt out about something, whether it's like a project, whether it's writing related or not, please comment down below so that we can like give you some love and some positive vibes. And if you have things that you do that help you deal with when you feel like you are just about to throw in the effing towel, please let us know. Because hey, what I offered may not work for a lot of people, and you may have the thing that could save them from giving up on something that they absolutely adore. So I hope by now you can see why I decided to do writer's block and burnout together, because writer's block feeds into general burnout, and a burnout can make a writer's block worse. So they kind of are two sides of the same coin, and how we deal with them are kind of the same thing. Although I will have to say a writer's block, it tends to be a little lighter, so you can do like little lighter things, like just take a small break for the rest of the day, maybe go have some tea, call your mom, whatever. And like a general burnout, you really do need to like take some serious time for yourself to recharge. And the main thing that I want you guys to remember is don't be upset. Like if your imaginary friends stop talking to you and you just can't write, oh well. It happens to the best of us. And when you just feel like you just can't take it anymore and you need a break, you need to focus on you. Like, I promise you, your readers are gonna understand it. They would rather wait a little bit longer for a quality novel book than for you to push out some BS just to be done with it. Within reason though, and I'm looking at you, George R. R. Martin. When's the next one coming out? When's the Winds of Winter? I really would love to read that, please, sometime. But no, seriously, man, like your books are hella involved and I get it. It's cool. It's cool. Before I step away, don't forget that the Serpent Coils is out and about in the world in paperback and ebook formats. So head on over to wherever it is if you like to buy your books, click it, buy it, and let me know what you think. So that is all that I have for you today, and I will see you all next week. Bye.